have made progress, and it's optimistic in extending its productive activities. We still have to recover the whole sector of over 250 industries that are at the hands of the state, and all of them need to be productive 100% without any excuse. Let's change anything that has to be changed, and we won't allow a single lie more. In an alliance with the working class, new investments, new schemes of investment. Let's produce with all the industries that are at the hands of the state. He encouraged all of the actions of the extreme right wing of Venezuela that are his daughters and sons, and they're mercenaries. Juan Guaidó, Machado, Leopoldo López. They are all mercenaries of Álvaro Uribe Vélez.
In Palestine, after the ceasefire, displaced civilians returned to their neighborhoods to find decimated houses and search for their missing relatives under the rubble. From the Gaza Strip, our collaborator Huda Hegazi brings us more information.
Me encuentro en la zona de Al-Bureij, este campamento de refugiados que se encuentra
I am in the area of Al-Bureij, this refugee camp located in the center of the Gaza Strip, which was one of the areas most attacked by the Israeli army during this genocidal war that lasted more than 15 consecutive months. As we can see, the destruction caused by the Israeli regime is extensive. Precisely here, I found the home of the Al-Rashash family, which, as we can see, has been completely destroyed. But what surprised me about this story is that despite being completely gone since the home is in ruins, just a pile of destroyed stones, the family has come here again to live after the ceasefire. They returned to their home, to their house, although as we can see there is literally no house. They have put sheets to simulate a door so that they can live in this place, which is literally destroyed. What surprised me about this story is that the family, and especially the mother, came here because she said that in one of the attacks carried out by the occupying army, her children were killed.
Incluso lo que me sorprendió es que ellos han puesto una especie de telas, una especie de sábanas como para intentar simular una puerta para que puedan vivir en este lugar, aunque literalmente está destruido. Y también lo que me sorprendió de esta historia es que la familia y sobre todo la madre vino aquí porque aseguró de que
right here in this place, and up to now she has not been able to get them out from under the rubble. That is, even now her children are under all this pile of ruins, under all this pile of rubble. And so this woman says that she does not want to leave her home. She does not want to live anywhere else but here, even though it is destroyed. Because above all, now her main objective is to get her children out and be able to bury them. Now we will talk with this woman, who is the mother of the family, so that she can tell us her story.
Es que quiere sacar a sus hijos y poder enterrarlos. Y ahora en este momento hablaremos con esta señora que es la madre de esta familia para que nos cuente su historia.
I want you to tell me how you lived through the war, how many times you evacuated, and why did you come back here? I have evacuated many times. Every time there were attacks, we had to evacuate and flee. We have no house, no shelter, nothing. They even attacked us once for trying to eat. I came back here after the ceasefire to look for my children. 4 of them died in an attack on my house. I came to see them and call for them and tell them to come out. Come out, Atta. Come out, Mohammed. Come out, Nasir. Come out, Nahed. But none of them answered me. Here they are, under the rubble. How are you going to live here if your house is only ruins? How am I going to live? With God's help. I call the whole world to help us. What am I going to do? Nobody helps us. They just talk.
esta señora nos asegura de que ha vuelto a su hogar porque literalmente no tiene otro lugar donde
This woman
poder
assured us that
recurrir,
she has
asegura que
returned
es
to
la
her
única
home because she
opción
literally has
en donde
nowhere
puede
else to go.
permanecer en este
This is
momento
the
y el
only place
principal
where she can
motivo
stay at this
que le ha
moment. The
empujado
main
para
reason that
volver
has
a
pushed
su
her to
vivienda
return
es
to her
porque
home
sus
is
hijos
because
se
her children
encuentran
are
todavía
still under the
bajo los
rubble.
escombros.
There are
Hay
4 young
4
people who were killed
jóvenes
by
que
the
fueron
Israeli
asesinados
regime
por
and
parte
whose
del
bodies
régimen
have not
israelí que
been
hasta este
able to be
momento
retrieved.
no han
So she is
podido
hurting since she
ser
hasn't been able to
sacados
bury her
y la
children who
señora no ha
remain
podido
under
enterrar
the
a sus
rubble
hijos
after so
y
long.
eso es
So
algo
now
que
her
le
only
duele,
wish is
que
to get her
después de
children
tanto
out so she
tiempo
can bury
aún
them
sus
with her
hijos
own
quedan bajo los
hands.
escombros y ahora su principal objetivo es que pueda sacar a sus hijos y pueda enterrarlos ella con sus propias manos.
Anybody should forget in this beautiful world we are building that those economic criminal sanctions against the economy of Venezuela in the year 17, 18, and 19 requested for the extreme right wing, the failure of the opposition of Guaido, were the ones that provoked, let's say, as a natural element, the migration that Venezuela had never had. So, Latin American, Caribbean vocation and concrete actions with ALBA. We have the Agro-ALBA program, which encompasses Latin America, the Caribbean, and has incorporated Africa. That's our path. The South, our America, dignity, science, independence. That's our own path. In a world that is going to be more and more multipolar and diversified and developed.
And in the context of the first day of this new mandate of U.S. President Donald Trump, we contact a special envoy to Washington, D.C., Carlos Montero. Hi, Carlos. What new updates do you have for us?
Oh, I have a lot of updates after what you were showing us. You can see Trump hasn't changed much since his first presidency. He has the same energy, the same aggressiveness, and insulting people. But I want to tell you something really interesting that happened this morning before we go to our guest, who's going to help us to understand all those executive orders you were mentioned. Today, this morning, President Trump, his wife, the Vice President J.D. Vance, they went to a religious service at the National Cathedral, and he got a big surprise. Those executive orders that are against the gay community, that are against the illegal immigrants, and the pastor, the lady who was preceding the service, she was in the sermon, she was really strong, she was very clear, and on Trump's face she told her, President, I beg you to have misericordia with gay people. There are a lot of young kids who are gay, transsexual, and they are very scared. A lot of them, they are scared of their life because they don't know what's going to happen. She also, the priest, the pastor, she said about immigrant President Trump, in this country, we were all immigrants. And the people, you were listening to Trump when he was saying that they came from Venezuela here, they were killed. I mean, that's all a lie, big lie. She told on his face, President Trump, those people are workers. They work in hospital at night. They clean our hotel rooms. They serve our food. They clean our dishes in the restaurant. Those people are not criminals. You cannot believe what Trump faced. He was really upset. They asked him about after the service, what do you think? And he said, I think it was okay. I didn't like it much. But I mean, somebody told on Trump face what many people think in this country. Before going to our guest, I want to tell you a couple of things more that happened today. He was in a meeting tonight with the majority leader of the lower and higher chambers of the Congress. For all those executive orders, he's going to need a lot of help from the Congress. And one more thing, he has the first approval of his cabinet, Marco Rubio. He's been approved and by the Congress, 99 votes he got. Democrats and Republicans approved the nomination, and he swore this morning with the vice president. But let's talk about to see how Americans are reacting to that situation. The first day completely of Donald Trump in office. It's with us Netfa Freeman. Netfa Freeman, how can I describe you? A community helper? I know you are on radios and you are a celebrity here in Washington.
Not about a celebrity, but I'm an organizer. So I'm an community organizer, but not just community, but international organizer with Pan-African Community Action and also the Black Alliance for Peace.
What do you think this first day that Donald Trump in office, the first day completely?
Well, I think it shouldn't be a surprise. This is the type of disposition that this particular president and the people, the type of people he puts around himself, these are the things that they have been promising and they've been wanting. They represent the more Western white supremacist ethos that characterizes U.S. settler colonialism. That's who they appeal to. That's their base. So what we're going to see is maybe more aggressive policies, but still really this not different policies than what have been implemented, but more aggressively. For example, when it comes to immigration, the numbers and all that, you could say that Democrats party deport just as many, but they'll be militarizing the border, they'll be sending in police and these this is what the Trump administration will be doing. So there's aggressiveness there, but they all believe in the supremacy of and the exceptionalism of what they call America.
And what the community can do in this situation? What do you advise? I mean, people who you talk to them, what can they do?
Well, this is an extremely important question.
Can they do anything?
Well, we can. It's not going to be easy. There's no easy road. I mean, I think we need to take our lessons from the radical traditions, and particularly even you could say the black radical tradition, and realize that the only way to avoid these types of, emergence of megalomaniacs and all these types is to actually to address the system. There has to be a radical change in the capitalist system, and that's the only way. And we also we don't want to do too much exceptionalizing the personality of Trump, because then we'll lose sight of the overall goal of dealing with the system as a whole that's represented by both parties, a duopoly of whites, U.S., EU, NATO axis of domination.
Mr. Freeman, I mean, I tell you, we are in the White House is behind us, and this Avenue Boulevard, it's called Black Lives Matter. Here it was a lot of people protesting a few years ago. How is that movement right now, and what can we expect of Donald Trump being president with the movement Black Lives Matter?
That's a very interesting question. I think the movement for like that type of ethos was essentially a reformist movement that was focused on, and this was one of the dangers that we just talked about, focused on personality, Donald Trump. And that now, and so when you have a Democrat coming into office, a Democratic administration, people tend to subside, and they don't deal with the fundamental and essential issues that sustain all the oppressive forms of oppression that we face regularly. And so right now, there's nothing about that's even emerged, and that it might intensify now that Donald Trump is in power. We saw that with a lot of the demonstrations yesterday. And throughout. I mean, in a strange sort of turn of events, it may be something, that type of energizing of and activating of that base is needed. And so, we're not to say things are better, but we need a strong radical response to the system.
Mr. Nathan Freeman, thank you very much. Thank you for being with us in this cold evenings. The weather is really cold. This is the situation we are living here in the capital. Donald Trump is going to sign more executive orders between today and tomorrow, and we are waiting to see what he has to tell us about this meeting he's having with the leader of the Congress. You know that the Congress, the Republican Party, is in power, that has the majority, and also the Supreme Court, who has most of the members of the Supreme Court are from the right wing. They are conservative. That's all. Right now, I'm going back to you to the studio.
And now we will apply the 13 engines, and we will work united with our countries from ALBA and our fellow mates from Cuba, Cuba must know that it counts on the Bolivarian Venezuela to produce together and build together happiness, prosperity, and the peace that is a right for Cuba, Latin America, and Venezuela, a great friend of our country. Considering the honorable deputies who agree with the project presented and the modification carried out during the debate, raise your hand. It has been approved unanimously, the agreement that declares as public enemy of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela the paramilitaries, terrorists, drug traffickers, fascists, criminals, representatives of the international extreme right wing, Álvaro Uribe Vélez and Iván Duques. The industrial sector has made progress, and it's optimistic in extending its productive activities. We still have to recover the whole sector of over 250 industries that are at the hand